Anything interesting happened yesterday?
Yeah.
What?
We have more and more people coming saying, okay, we'll call or text you or go on your website for orders because when we get here, you're sold out. And that's a good thing.
That's a really
Wow.
Eggs and bread, and they're just like, oh, I missed the bread again, or no more eggs. If you would, Patty gave them our card and said if you would text us or call us, go on our website and just say, I'd like to order some eggs or some bread, we're good.
Wow.
We'll meet you here.
We grow so much food, and if we can't sell it at the farmer's market, it goes out back.
It's for them. We designed it that way, though. We talked about that. We said, let's grow over
what we
so
need.
that what we don't sell, we don't have to purchase food for these animals.
Right,
we
right.
can feed these animals from what came from that garden.
Wow.
So that it kind of worked out good that way.
Yeah.
How long have you been here?
1 year now. 1 year this month. We can't believe the year has gone by so fast. But we've done so much. We've put up 2 greenhouses. Keith built the pig pen. We bought the electric fence for the pigs. We bought the pigs back in December. So they're 9 months, 10 months old.
Garden.
How many pigs?
2 pigs.
2 pigs.
Okay.
2 pigs.
The garden.
Are they heritage pigs or anything like that, or?
Oh,
No,
I'm not
one's
good
a
with the
Yorkie.
names.
One's a Yorkshire, and the other one's a mix. The spotted one's a mix, and the guy that sold it just said, "Hey, it's not a Yorkshire, but she'll get just as big eventually.
Yeah.
She's a mix." So
That's okay. Roxy's trying to hand off some leaves.
Right.
when we got the pigs, we ordered the 2
Yeah.
prior to.
Uh-huh.
So we went to go pick them up, and he's like, kind of sold one that you bought. And we went, okay.
You did?
He says, but I got another one here. She's just wonderful. She's not as big. She won't get as big until the last couple of months. She'll catch up. But she's got floppy ears, covers her eyes, and she's a mix. And we're like, well, what do we do? Well, we've already paid, so we got to take her.
Yeah.
So we did, and they're fun to have. They're a fun pet. God gave us dominion over the animals, and so we
Right.
treat them like family.
They
Yeah.
are spoiled.
They're very spoiled. We go in there and we play with them, and they have personalities. That's
Yeah.
what's
Of course.
fun about
Oh,
them.
they do. I give them baths.
Will. I'm sure they
With
need it.
they stand there and just kind of go, oh.
Well, you think it's going to be hard for you to? Is this the first time you've harvested pigs, or did you
Yeah,
have pigs in?
No, we didn't have
Texas?
pigs in
No.
Texas, so yeah, it'll be the first time.
It'll be hard. I won't be here. I'm a little bit closer to them.
Yeah.
I'll organize the crime, but when they get here, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna go fishing.
Okay.
I can't do that. They look at me every morning like, hey, what's up, buddy? How you doing?
Yeah.
Got any more watermelon?
No. Watermelon's done, right?
No.
No, we still have some
Still
more
got some
out there.
40
in the field.
pounders up there.
Yeah.
40?
Yes,
Yeah.
black
Oh my
diamond.
gosh.
We'll take you out there and we'll have one for lunch.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. We still have a lot of food out there.
Wow.
So
That's awesome. So this all came together, so fast.
it really did.
I mean, just first of all, Texas came together fast. It seemed to me. I mean, how long were you in the Texas homestead?
I was there for 2 years.
Yeah.
And in
Was it
those
2 years?
not even a full 2 years. We put up a greenhouse. We had 140 chickens.
Oh, that was your original property.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Okay.
I
So-
couldn't keep it up myself. There's just no way. And
Yeah.
work a full-time job at the school district.
Right. Now, are you retired?
Yeah, we both retired from the school district.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is more work.
Oh, sure.
This is more work.
This
It's
is
different.
Get up in the morning. Well, when you work a job, you get up in the morning and you get ready for work and you leave and
Yeah.
then you come home. When we get up in the morning, we're still in our jammies out there picking fruit because it's just constant
Non-stop.
go nonstop.
You use the expression, you got here and you hit the ground running.
We did
Literally.
literally
Put their car in neutral and got out of the car and just ran around the property. And I haven't stopped yet.
And so what kind of capital improvements have you made to the property, would you say? Have you done
Oh
any?
gosh.
any-
There was a giant tree right here. You couldn't even see your car right now. right there where the rocks are.
Okay, so you took a big tree
First
out.
day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Go on.
Because we couldn't see the road. We couldn't see who was coming. We couldn't protect ourselves.
Oh,
Why
wow.
is there a tree right there where we can't see anything? So
Yeah. That's gone. Did you have to do anything to the house to make it livable?
Well, it was considering all the other houses that we had looked at when we were going to move here to Kentucky. We lived Kentucky and Tennessee. This house was a normal house. It wasn't a mobile home.
Yeah.
The ceilings were a normal height.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the other houses that we looked at were hodgepodge put together. You
Yep.
know, go to a swap meet and pick up cabinets and put them in the kitchen and call it good.
Yeah.
So this was more like a regular house, but the wiring was
well, downstairs more or less.
yeah
a little bit
in
here,
the
but
basement.
downstairs.
Yeah, it
This was acceptable and livable right away.
Yeah, okay.
I mean,
good.
we came from a nice brand new home, but this was like, we can do this.
Yeah.
It keeps us dry and everything works.
Right.
and he's so handy.
Right, and you can build most anything, right?
Yeah, downstairs was just unfinished. It's like a whole nother house downstairs.
Uh-huh.
So it was unfinished. So we've spent the last 9 months
Working
really finishing up the house.
And
Wow.
rewiring everything
Right.
downstairs because half the lights didn't work.
Because you
and-
have your mother-in-law, your mother
right. His mom's here.
Yeah.
And
she
son,
stays
right?
upstairs
and son.
and son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a very comfortable house. When we were looking, we all had a wish list.
Yeah.
And I love telling this story because if you don't think God works in mysterious ways, I'm going to tell you now, he does.
Yeah.
Because grandma, his mom, she needed a walk-in shower because she's 82 years old.
Right.
And you don't find secondary bathrooms with a walk-in shower. You usually find them with a tub and
Yeah.
maybe a shower.
True.
I wanted to have a clothesline. I don't know why. I just wanted a clothesline. I
Hey,
want to
we-
be able to hang my clothes up to dry because we're homesteaders.
Right, absolutely.
And Keith wanted a big garage to put.
Not for toys, but a big garage for our, implements and all of our stuff. That
Right.
we can't just leave a tractor out in the middle of the field.
No.
And we weren't going to do that because you see people doing that. But we're like, no,
They just
they've
get
got to work
rusty.
for us.
Yeah,
They get rusty.
they
And,
get
Yeah,
rusty and so when we were looking, we were in eastern Kentucky looking, and we understand the term haulers. Because when you're buying 80 acres out there, you get 5 flat acres and the other 75 are up a hill.
right.
Yeah, and so we
Same
weren't
in
interested in that.
Tennessee.
Useless.
Yeah, and we wanted to be in a place that was quiet and peaceful, no neighbors,
You got that.
and forest. We definitely got that.
you are
And farmable.
you are in the country.
Oh, yeah.
You are on a one-lane road. At the end of the road, that's country.
We are.
I mean, I think I left the last highway about 25 minutes ago.
Probably. We are pretty far in the woods.
Yeah, yeah. I
And-
can't quite imagine anything better. Unless the only thing that would be better is if you owned everything you're looking at up to that tree line over
That
there.
would be
That would
a
be-
lot of work.
Well,
we don't
it's
know if we
cleared.
can do that.
It's cleared.
It's yeah.
It is, and
It
it's
is-
beautiful.
You
When the
just
corn
hit-
is gone, it's just beautiful. You
You
can
could
see all
just get
that.
somebody to bush hog it once a year.
Yeah.
You know.
And our neighbor
Calm
who
down.
backs up to us here, his property actually goes all the way up to the main road, which is 3/4 of a mile.
Yeah.
And
oh, wow.
so once in a while we'll hear his cows back here.
No problem.
No problem. Yeah, they don't come down because we got the haulers right here, so
Yeah.
we're kind of secluded that way. And then our other neighbor, who we met at our farmers market, Bud, he's been here forever. His brother built this house,
Wow.
which we didn't know until we met him at the farmers market. But if we look out our back windows in the wintertime when there's no leaves on the trees, we can see his porch light way past the holler.
Wow.
And then our other nearest neighbor is a 1/4 mile going back out of our road. And
You probably saw it coming in.
Yes.
That one mailbox.
by
yeah,
that,
I did.
By that
Yep,
old
I thought
one.
maybe that was yours, but
No.
Yeah,
does the mailman come all the way back here?
he comes all the way back here
Every day.
Every day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah. We get UPS back here and FedEx,
That's
And
amazing.
color TV.
and we have internet.
What kind? Is it fiber?
What is it?
It is it.
It is.
It's AT&T. No, it's Duo Broadband.
Yeah,
We
okay.
have Duo Broadband back here. Never heard of them, but they're big here in our area.
But did they lay a fiber wire.
Yeah, there's the main
There's-
lines up there at the road.
I
where you
can't
turn
believe
in.
they brought fiber all the way back here just
I
for
know.
one
And
or
it
two
goes
customers.
past our road.
One or two customers. That's
yeah.
it.
Yeah, there's on the other side of the forest here to your left is an old mobile home that is just junked out.
Remnants.
Yeah, and then a little further down
You see
from
a lot
that,
of that in the South. I don't
is-
understand it really, but
yeah, another mobile home, and we kind of went snooping around, and it's been abandoned since the 80s, so 40 years it's been abandoned,
Yeah.
and then that's it. And then there's another barn down there, couple
but
of barns down
presumably
there.
somebody owns the property.
Oh yeah, she
Yeah.
owns the barn down there. There's cars in there and there's tractors there. When they do their big mow up here, they
Oh.
come from back down there.
I see.
But we found out our neighbor Elvis, who lives behind us here, he grew up in this area, so that was his grandfather's old barn down there.
Oh.
So there's a lot of history here.
Yeah, good
So,
history.
so do you feel like have the neighbors taken you in, or the
Oh,
people in
yes.
the community?
Yeah.
None of
Very
this.
warm.
Oh, Texas. No.
No, not at all. It is community back here. When the tornado came through our property, and I have a video up about that one. The F1 tornado came through here. We lost electricity for about 3 days until they could, get all the trees off the lines 4 miles from here, wherever it is that feeds us electricity. So we called a neighbor up the road who we were buying eggs from. And I said, oh, we lost electricity. We're not sure what we're going to do, everything. She said, just empty your freezers out. I got room for you down here. So we emptied our freezers out
And took everything
and
down?
took everything down to her freezer. She had room for us, and we kept everything there for a couple of days.
Wow.
So we were able to save a lot of stuff.
So one of the concerns you had when you bought the property was that you didn't have a wood-burning fireplace.
We're thinking about getting one, just to have one, because
Yeah.
we have endless wood.
Right.
But this house, as I was rebuilding it, is so insulated that we had no problems this last winter at all. And it was, 8-10 degrees, snow on the ground, and we were just fine. And we didn't use the heater that much. We have a little electric fireplaces.
Yeah.
The house stayed about 65 degrees.
Wow.
Yeah, unbelievable.
That's really unusual.
It
really
is.
is.
But the
Yeah.
walls are, when I was redoing the house, the walls are super thick here. And the
Oh.
guy really overdid it.
Well, that's great.
For some reason, I don't know why, but he overdid it.
and you didn't even know that when you
No,
made an
no.
offer.
No. In fact, going back to my story about being in Eastern Kentucky, we couldn't find nothing out there. So I called our agent back over here in South Central Kentucky. And I said, hey, remember us? We saw this house on Zillow, and it just listed this morning. Can you make us an appointment for tomorrow afternoon? Because we could be there by that time. And she said, yeah, let me do that. So she called us back. And she said, you're not going to believe this, but they already got an offer. And that's
Oh,
what we were
my
dealing with
goodness.
last year, was
One
as soon
day.
as the houses were on the
Yeah.
market, they were gone.
Yeah.
And
That
she
happened
said,
to me,
She said, but the realtor has more people coming, and she wants to be able to get more offers. And she said, I can do a virtual tour for you. And I said, that would be great. So she did. She literally drove here to the property, got us on Facebook Messenger, and we did a video tour of the house. And we put an offer in that night, and they accepted it, and here we are.
Well, the offer was over,
Yes.
A little-
and the
bit.
clause was no home inspection. I'll take it how it is.
Uh-huh.
And she just,
Jumped.
as soon as people say that, I mean, if you know your stuff around a house and you say that, you're gonna get the house. Because
Yeah.
if the inspector would have came here, he would have said, "Oh, roof, downstairs, electrical," and she wouldn't have got what she wanted for the house because she'd have to have all this fixed.
Right.
But if you say no home inspector and you know you can do it and you're gonna do it, you're gonna get the house.
Yeah. Well, that was not the case with me.
Oh, darn.
Well, I was told that if you find a contractor that's not busy, he's probably not any good.
Yeah.
And so
That's true.
buy something. You do have a fire burning, right?
Yeah.
No, we
Yeah.
don't. No, we do not have a fire burning
Well,
fireplace or nothing.
I see
No.
smoke.
Well,
that's our burn
that's
pit.
Okay. We burn,
We
our,
burn our
trash.
trash.
So technically, you do have a fire burning.
we do have a fire burning. Yeah,
She's
our trash
thinking,
goes out there.
fire, run!
I know that they can see the smoke on the camera, so I just wanted to make
I'm
sure.
like, we don't have a fireplace.
I
It burns.
smell smoke, so
Yeah.
I thought
We're
okay,
burning
better
the
clarify.
corn stalks right now that we harvested a little bit last week.
Uh-huh.
The popcorn, So we took all the stalks over. She's kept some for her design she's going to make, but we're going to burn the rest, and we're a little bit at a time. It takes time to burn all that.
Oh, sure.
We had 3 different areas of corn. So right over here to the left of the ground cover was 3 rows of corn, and we pulled the corn off. We just took the tractor and went up there and laid down the corn, and I got the cultivator out. And I sit there, and it took me about an hour, and I cultivated all the stalks back into the soil. And then we just covered it up with...
The cultivator is what? It's not a
It's like a
rototiller.
rototiller. It's a massive, huge 5-foot rototiller.
Okay.
That's about a 1,000-pound machine that's got like 45 blades on it.
Oh, on the back of
On the back of the tractor. So as soon as you turn it on, they all
For sure.
like
Yeah,
this.
well, see, I don't happen to have a tractor, so I have a rototiller.
Yeah.
But that would get bound. No, you couldn't do it. I looked at the prices for mulchers, and it was like thousands for a good one.
Yeah.
And I'm going, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. When we go out and harvest the corn, we don't spray a lot. We want to keep it as natural as possible. Well, you've got the corn earworm.
Yeah.
Corn earworm. And they
The
can
army
devastate
worm.
your crop, yeah.
Yeah.
And even little teeny tiny itty bitty worms get in there. So what we do for farmers market is we'll pull the corn off and we'll husk it, and usually you can catch that worm at the top of the stalk, and they don't grow very big anyways at the top.
No.
Because the type of corn that we're growing this year is the NK 199,
Sweet
and it's
corn.
an old heirloom sweet corn.
Wow.
So I just, snap off the top, snap off the bottom, and we've got a beautiful piece
Ear.
of corn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that we sell in bags. And a lot of the customers like that because when you buy a piece of corn that's still in the husk, you don't know what you're getting.
Nope, you don't.
Yeah, we started this last week, and we just had a little powwow. We said, look, we're not going to lose this crop because of that stupid worm. So we thought about it. I said, hey,
Let's do it this way.
Let's peel it off
Hey,
the
you're
husk.
doing all the work for them.
Yeah,
Right.
give the husk to the pigs. We'll cut it off in the kitchen, put it in bags. We put eight large ones in a bag for $7, and we put 3 in a bag for $3. And the
Gone.
people are like, "Oh my gosh, I hate doing this. I hate doing it."
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
I
people don't want to work.
I don't want to work either, but
But we want to make money, so.
Yes, let's tell me about how you decided to make money off of your
Okay,
efforts,
well,
your
it
efforts.
was a decision. Our first 2 or 3 months, we were digging into our pockets to do this and do that around here. Pay for wood, lumber, wire, chicken coops, and so. And we're like, okay, wait a minute. Let's get this garden going to where we can go to the farmer's market and make enough to where we don't have to dig into our pockets and have this place support itself.
Yeah.
right.
So we thought, okay, that's a 100-foot garden. We're like, no, we've got to have a garden. We've got to have an acre. We got to have food beyond food.
And when he said that, I said, "You got to be kidding."
Yeah, I said, no, we
There's-
got to
there's
have
no-
we
there's
got
no
to
way.
have a
That's-
giant acre.
That is a lot. I thought maybe part of this hill was going to be the garden.
How much is that hill? Is that 1 acre?
It's about
Yeah, well, when you go from this point to that point to the back behind the corn, you're right about there. Yeah,
An acre.
we're right about an acre of food
And you're
that we're
trying to
growing.
plant that whole thing? Or
We
you
did.
we did.
We
It's all.
did.
We're already on our fall crop. Our fall crop's coming in now.
Wow.
So
Wow.
a couple of months ago when this was in full swing,
What?
well, we
It
got up in the
was-
morning. We're like,
It was sun up to
Exhausting.
sundown, and
every day.
I saw some pictures the other day when we were at the farmers market of us at the farmers market when we first went, and our table looked pretty pathetic. We didn't have very many things.
Yeah.
Now we're the last ones standing at the farmers market. Everybody, all the other vendors have ran out of food,
Yeah.
but Sleepy Glen
Yeah.
Homestead is still there at the farmers
We
market.
need to get another table. We're already out of. We have 3 tables.
Do you have to pay per table or just booth or?
No, we pay per year.
Okay.
And we're the only ones in the parking lot at the UK Extension office, so we could do as many tables as we wanted.
Yeah. We're gonna go try to go year round.
Yeah.
Both greenhouses are going. The field's going. So we've got fall crop coming in, and we're telling our customers we will be here Fridays and Saturdays, mostly year round. If it's snowing and this and that, okay, but it's what we decided to do, and we make enough off of this to feed ourselves, pay our bills, and have extra money to go. We just went to Virginia Beach last week.
I know. I'm so
So,
jealous.
but
beautiful.
you gotta define yourself. Is this what you want? You gotta make sure this is how you're gonna do life and dedicate yourself.
And it is, I'm not joking you, it is a lot of work. We do a farmer's market on Thursdays from 4 to 7. And
Wow.
then that's in another county. And then we have another one Friday morning at 7:30. So 7:30 until noon. And by the time noon hits, we're exhausted.
Yeah.
Well, we picked that morning, if you could believe it or not, before we went. We'll sell out. We got to replenish the food.
Yeah.
And if you come back at 8 o'clock at night, and you got to be there at 7:30 in the morning, guess what you're doing?
You're out there
picking.
picking more beans because, people want them half runners and they want those Kentucky Wonders and they want more bell peppers. And
Yeah.
so we make sure that we've got fresh new pickings for the next farmer's market.
Which is the next day.
Which
Yes.
is the next morning,
Yes.
exactly.
Next morning, and you got home at 8 o'clock at night.
8:30 because
My
it's an
goodness.
hour away from here.
Oh my goodness!
It is. It's worth the journey in so much detail. I mean, it's harder work than from their school districts that we retired from, but it's a different kind of work. It's an enjoyable work.
Right.
We eat from that field.
Well,
That field feeds our pigs. It feeds our chickens.
Right.
It feeds our dogs. It feeds us.
it feeds your spirit.
And it makes us
Oh,
money
yeah.
to pay our bills. So it's a fulfillment to get up in the morning and go do it because of what it does for us.
Right. So are you able to be self-sufficient now after 1 year?
Yes,
We don't dig into our pockets right now.
pretty much. I only go to the grocery store to get milk.
I mean, you
we
haven't
don't
made
have a cow.
back. You haven't made back your investments from the greenhouses and all of that. You dug into your savings for that, right? But now you are at a point where all of your inputs are paid for, and you're feeding yourself.
Correct.
Yeah, we have.
Wow.
She goes to the bank once a week after all 3 farmers markets, makes a deposit,
Yeah.
and then that bank account is only for this farm.
Right.
So if we need a new implement, a new thing for the greenhouse, it comes from that account.
Yeah.
We don't take anything out of our. We'll say, okay, we need some ground cover to finish that over there. Well, let's go next week after you deposit your money, and we'll go buy some more ground cover.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about it before we buy it, so we don't We just, this is what we need. Okay, we need 2 more weeks of farmers market. That's $1,200. Let's go get it.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
it's organized.
Usually with 2 people, they're not on the complete same wavelength. You know what I mean.
Well, no, we're that. She wants her giant TV. She's like, I want my TV. Can't we finally
watch
get a
TV?
TV?
No, I don't.
And I'm like, you know what?
Get rid of that
Let's get
TV.
another plow first.
Yeah.
Let's get another lawn. No, I want a TV. I'm like,
I don't have time.
so
to
no,
watch
we have
TV.
our.
You don't have time. You forget that I haven't had a TV in 4 years. You
I
don't need
know.
a TV.
No, I don't need a TV. But, he wants to buy another implement for the tractor. And I'm like, but my chickens need dresses.
Yeah. We have our moments, but it's fun moments. It's laughter. I'm like, so we get you a 50-inch TV. When are you gonna watch it? I don't know, but it looks nice.
Covers that hole in the wall.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Well,
But,
it just sounds like you've really found a great balance in so short of a time. It's just unreal.
Well, he grew up on his grandpa's farm in the summer times, from the time he's about 9 years old till about 16, and in Louisiana.
Uh-huh.
And he would spend all summer there. So he had a lot of hands-on experience,
Yeah.
picking potatoes and harvesting watermelon, what you look for, and
Yeah, this is how they
his grandpa
lived.
did it. And
They didn't spend money. They either bartered or sold.
Right.
And that's how they lived back there. And I watched it all happen, and I watched it all unfold. So I watched everything my grandpa did with the plows and how he planted and what season, and how he would say, I'll grow 2 acres of corn. And he would talk to the neighbor and say, if you do grow 2 acres of watermelon, and we'll trade.
Yeah.
You
Did they use chemicals back then?
They weren't even invented back then.
Oh, you're not that old. He's not that old. Your grandfather, did you say? Your
yeah, his grandfather.
Oh, I think they
No.
had fertilizer back
Well,
then.
no,
pretty
he
sure.
His growing acreages were between 50 and 200 acres.
Okay.
So there's just no way and back then to get
That
chemicals
much.
or fertilizer. It was just hook up the plow it, get the potatoes in the ground, get the watermelon, get the corn, and the rain, Mother Nature
Hope for the best.
took care of everything.
Right.
It was never.
If you didn't have rain, you didn't have a crop.
Well,
Right.
you got to pick out a place in this country where you got to do your homework. Where does it rain enough? I mean, you can't do this in New Mexico.
No.
You know, so you got to figure out where you can go that Mother Nature helps you.
Right.
So in Louisiana, it rained once or twice a week. So he would just plant his watermelon seed and come back 3 months later, 2,000 or 3,000 watermelon. You know, you go out and get a truck full of guys, and they'd load up the truck and go downtown to Piggly Wiggly's, and they would trade for food
At the store?
at Piggly Wiggly's. He would load up a 2,000 or 3,000 watermelon on the outside of Piggly Wiggly's. The manager would come out and say, "What do you need?" Grandma would walk in, and she would get all of her starches, her corns, or this and that, and peas, whatever she needed.
Oil,
and
salt, pepper,
that was it.
coffee.
Flour.
That's how it was.
Flour.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he sold those watermelon for $2 a piece, and if there's 1,000 of them there,
Wow.
but that's how the system worked back then,
Yeah.
you know. And
If
I'm
I
sure-
had a partner like you, Keith, I'd be doing the exact same thing.
well,
Yeah.
I'm sure we could start bartering it with some of our customers if we wanted to.
Sure.
You know, we can.
We probably could.
But I think we could, but
Because you're not growing beef, so that's something you could barter for, right?
Right.
you're right.
Yeah, that was the only thing we don't have.
Yeah, we're gonna have the pork, and the lakes and the rivers are right here. So I bring back fish, and she cooks them up
Oh, my.
and freezes them. So we have fresh fish all the time.
What
we have
kind?
pork, trout,
Yeah.
right out of the river. Nice cold trout. And then I go to the lake and bring back bass, catfish.
Wow.
She cooks them up, and for a while there, it was one night a week. It was fish, then it was pork, then it was chicken. It came from here.
You've realized the dream of so many, mostly younger homesteaders
Yeah.
who got young kids. They would love to be doing what you're doing.
You know what? It is a dream come true because after living in Las Vegas and working for the school system, and then moving to Texas and
Working for the school system.
Yeah.
Still working
We're
for the
done
school
burning
system,
up.
but I was able to have chickens and eggs
Yeah.
and sell those,
Yeah.
and we hadn't gotten into the pigs yet because you couldn't have them where we were at.
Yeah, that's true.
But it was starting to live that dream of homesteading and being more self-sufficient.
Right.
And when we decided to leave there and come here, to the country, I couldn't find chickens to buy.
Oh,
No, all the hatcheries were all sold out. It was
yeah.
crazy.
wrong timing.
Wrong
Yeah,
timing,
yeah,
really
yeah,
bad.
it
So
was.
we ended up buying some from a neighbor up the road, which are most of our hens don't want roosters. And
You don't have a rooster?
No,
Not even one?
No,
No.
they just tear up the birds and get them nervous.
yeah.
No reason for
That's
it.
why it's
Well,
so
this-
quiet here, because the girls are happy. There's no man bothering them.
That way, we're not gonna put down men.
No, we're not.
No, we
No,
love,
but if
we
you-
love our we love our
men.
masculine
Yes, we
men.
do.
Yeah,
yes,
if you-
because
if
they
you-
protect us.
If you go back to the beginning of the story, the dinner table powwow between me and Patty or Patty and I was, okay, we're going to sell the house, sell the farm, we're going to move. We searched online for what state in the United States has the most rain and moisture in the soil. And we searched and searched, and we came down from Tennessee,
Uh-huh.
Kentucky, and Virginia.
Yeah.
And so we got those three, then we refined them.
We were getting frustrated because we couldn't find a home. We weren't fast enough, and living out of state trying to buy something
That's
was
hard.
very hard.
Very hard.
Because you want to see the house, you want to see what the neighborhood looked like.
Right.
But we had a really good agent in this area, and we told her exactly what we were looking for.
We were almost to the point of settling
Yeah.
On.
on a
On
house.
anything, just get
We're like, okay,
anything
there's
to get
there's
here.
something right there. Let's just get it, tear it down, rebuild it, and we're like, oh no,
So,
we can't settle.
I like your porch
No.
so much better than mine because it's deeper.
Yeah.
You know, mine is like just big enough to sit with a rocking chair, and then then there's the railing and the drop off, and it's really solid. It's the most solid thing of the whole house. In fact, if there was a tornado, I'd be most safe under the porch.
Oh,
I've been
really?
told that. Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
We're down in the basement.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have
It's
a
all
basement.
cement.
I don't have a basement,
Oh.
but yeah.
Well, this porch is like a military porch, you know. It's all boxed in. We got grandma here walking at night with the rifle, you know. So.
Is she trained in firearms?
We wish. She's so little, she probably couldn't pick one up.
Okay, all right. So I'm assuming you are. Keith.
Oh yeah, we're protected.
How much did you spend on your greenhouses? You have two.
We have two. We bought them from Grower Solution
Okay.
and talked to the same people. And these are actually called the Quonsets.
Quonset?
Quonset? Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, look, we have a visitor. Hi,
Hi.
Mama. That's Mama's. She likes to hop the fence and come across the porch and hop off over here.
Yeah.
It's just a shorter way to get around to the other side of the yard.
That one's got a brain. I don't know how it happened.
You don't want to get rid of her. She's got a
No.
brain.
That's the one that was screaming when you're saying, "Who's screaming?" And there she
okay.
is.
So Grower Solutions.
So we bought the two of them from Grower Solution.
Did they
which
give you a deal for getting two?
No.
Yeah. I
No,
don't think
we
they do
didn't
that.
get one. But
Yeah.
we did do a video on going down, picking up our greenhouses and assembling the greenhouses. And Keith did a few other little tricks, more improvements. I had watched Danny and Wanda put up one of their greenhouses, and with the roll-up sides, he had put the screen up.
You gotta
And
have
I
that.
told Keith about that, and I said, "This keep the bugs out." And so
Yeah. And
we watched the
varmints.
video, and we put that up, and it's great. It doesn't keep the little moths out. You'd have to go like the screen that you put on your houses to keep the little moths out. But for the most part, it keeps a lot of the big bugs out.
Okay.
Yeah, we did a video on those, and they're highly upgraded. And I showed people online how to do it. But those
This is
are
on your,
about
This is on your channel.
yeah.
Okay, so
those
you
are
just
about,
rolled your channel over from Texas to Kentucky.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
Those are about 2 feet taller than they're supposed to be. So I just modified them, and I showed everybody how to do it.
Oh,
So
great.
I've got them cemented into the ground. It's like a 2-piece unit, and it's real easy to do. But you take an 8-foot unit to make it a 10 plus, you know, and it's just if you have opportunity or time to upgrade it while you're building it, it's worth it. Do it.
Okay. To make it taller, and what else? To put the screen in,
Screens on the sides.
and then what else? Is that
Roll
everything?
up sides is very important. The roll up, see the sides, how they roll up?
Yes.
That is very important. Our first greenhouse in Texas did not have that.
Oh, it's so hot.
Yeah.
You couldn't even go in
It
there
was
in the
100
summer.
degrees in April. Everything burned up in there,
Yep.
and we had to pipe water and electricity out there for the wintertime and stuff. So
Oh.
let's put them next to the house. And this one over here, the greenhouse number 2, particularly gets all 7 hours of the morning sun, and then it shades off. This one here gets all 7 hours of the evening sun, and then shades off.
Just because these trees
Yeah,
out front?
exactly. We sat here and watched each day how it provides the sunlight.
Before you laid it out?
Yep. And that way we're like, okay, these greenhouses do not get 15 hours of sun and get burned up. They get what they need as the sun moves,
Wow.
and they're doing good.
Do you have to clean them off or anything? Or
No, the rain does that.
Okay.
The rain does that really good. I mean, it rains a lot out here, so
All in, what would you say you've got into that in each one of them? Is it the same price, about the same price that you put into both of them?
yeah.
You upgraded them
it's-
both the same
It's
way?
hard to name a price because it's all it's labor.
Well, I
And
know.
I have the tools and the other stuff here.
I'm just talking about your input. What was
Same.
No, but can you give me a ballpark idea
What about $3,000 for each one?
Yeah.
for materials?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be easy to say.
And most of that went to Grower Solutions, and then you just did a little bit extra.
Well, no, Grower Solutions was about 1,900, 2,000.
Okay.
So we had to build the doors, or the hardware for the doors, and
Yeah.
all that stuff. So
Yeah.
that's all add-on. They don't come with doors or anything else. You got to do all this stuff.
What about the front panel and the back panel?
Um,
The plastic, I mean.
the plastic comes with it, yes,
Okay.
but you got to put framework in for more doors and
Oh, so those two pipes that hold the door, that was not part of the kit?
That was part of the kit.
the two main frames, but the other pieces that I added in for the doors is what I did myself.
Okay. And in retrospect, do you feel like this kind of doors you like?
Yes, because in Texas we had a metal screen door,
Oh my.
and it was very heavy. So when it was really windy and you didn't close it, it came back and slammed real hard. So this is cedar wood and it's real light. And if in 2 or 3 years it falls apart,
Just make another
I
one.
just take one piece off and put another piece on.
Ah,
So I make it to where whatever you have on the farm, you can repair on the farm
right,
and not go buy something to repair it.
right.
So that's made out of fence panel.
Yeah, Keith, I just need you. For about a year.
Have him.
For about a year. A clone.
Well, that's kind of interesting because
You know, they could probably clone humans just the way they clone sheep and everything else, you
They
know.
probably could.
Yeah.
Patty will say, hey, we got to go buy this and we got to go get this, and I kind of hold her down and say, let me see what I can make first.
Yeah.
Hang on a minute, let me see what I can come up with.
Yeah.
You know?
That's awesome. That's awesome.
She's not happy about all the times about some of the things I make, but they work.
Did you
She's like, I don't know how you got this to work.
did you have to excavate to flatten it?
No. It's purposely on a little bit of a slope, so there's no puddling. It all goes out to the forest.
That way.
Yep.
Okay.
That was part of our sitting here thinking, drinking our tea. How's it going to lay out? Well, we don't want it. Texas puddled because it was on flat ground. And when it rained, the rain went right through the greenhouse, this deep. So we're like, okay, there's the runoff, and we need that so for no puddling for the beds, above ground beds. So everything here, when it rains there, it rains. We'll get some rain, and it just goes right through.
We want to put up another greenhouse.
Okay.
Because these 2 greenhouses have raised beds. I have learned the raised beds are good for planting things that grow in the bed, like potatoes,
Carrots,
carrots.
radish.
But if you get something that grows this way, like a tomato plant
Fine.
or a pepper plant, they get real leggy.
Yeah.
And
They're
the
searching for the
soil-
light. Yeah.
Well, not only searching for the light, but the soil is real loose because it's bagged raised bed soil.
Yeah.
It's not like dirt where it can hold the plant in the ground. So any little bit of watering from overhead, the plants just lay down. I learned that because I had some pepper plants in the greenhouse that I was going to try to grow. Everything's an experiment. And I didn't like the way that they were growing, so I took them out here to the hill and planted them. And they were the last ones to produce any kind of fruit compared to the other ones that I had just put directly into the ground when they were, little seedlings. So I could definitely tell there was a difference in growth and the way that they acted growing them in the greenhouse versus out here on the hill. So our plan for these 2 greenhouses, I can grow things that don't grow tall, like tomatoes and peppers. I can grow cabbage, broccoli, and cauliflower, because those don't grow tall.
No.
They grow. So right now we have potatoes growing in there, and the reason why we put them in there now is when we planted them, they were seed potatoes left over from what we had on the hill, and they're not going to be done until after our predicted first frost. So I figured they would be safe inside the greenhouse.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so we'll get a small crop of potatoes. And I also planted some russet potatoes from my potato bag in the house that I bought at the grocery store because they were growing some roots. And I said, you know what, you want to grow? I'll take potatoes.
That's my philosophy.
I put them in the ground and they're growing real nice.
Yeah,
So
there's
I have some
there's a
russet
lot in there.
potatoes.
If you load up the hay or something, it might make it through a few frosts, right?
We're gonna put a heater in there if our frost comes. That's why they're so close to the house. We'll put a heater in there.
How do you do that? Do you just run a cord?
Yeah, we'll run a cord
An
out there.
all-season kind of electric.
Just
plug?
just in that colder season, we'll run a cord. We're gonna get a radiant heater. It's one that has the oil in it, and set it at a certain temperature, and then we
Are
just
these
get a.
are these 4 greenhouses the kind of heater?
Well,
you're
they're
talking
not 4, but you can use them 4.
about? Oh,
Like they're ones that have the vents and they're all filled with oil.
yes.
So you turn up to 40, 50 degrees, and you just put an oscillating fan in there also. Just close the door. And if it's 15 degrees outside, well, that and the fan's going to keep it above freezing.
Wow.
So that's the plan. We've already got that plan for these 2 greenhouses. That's why everything's in there right now.
Wow.
But there's a lot of potatoes in there, and all those potatoes we're going to be in the garden this spring. So there's a
You're
lot.
just growing seed potatoes. You're not going to sell these. Okay.
Right.
I see.
As much as our customers want them, they don't get them.
Oh, we can sell those in 2 weeks.
Oh,
We can
I could have them sold in a day.
out
They
here,
just
red potatoes and white potatoes, the smaller ones,
Boom.
gold.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're familiar with those. And,
Oh, yeah.
and tell me about your average customer. What are they looking for, and what can't you sell?
Tell her about the lady yesterday that picked out all the food, and when she grabbed the tomato, she said, "Is this yours?" And we were selling it for a friend, and we said no, and she put it back. But she took everything else that came from our garden.
People know what we grow. They can
How
tell.
did you
if
establish
do it.
this in one season?
We
Yeah.
we
Sun
don't
up to
know.
sunset.
It's we have just been so blessed being here on this property, and our community is incredible. We have I have a lady that came yesterday just to buy the zucchini bread, and she bought all of it.
How much was there?
I had 3 small loaves, and she took every one of them.
Uh-huh.
We have other people who come to buy the loaves of bread that I make because I use non-GMO,
Right.
non-bleach, non-bromate
Yeah.
flours,
Yeah.
and because it's good for better for your stomach. And people come just to buy that. 'cause you
They
can't
know
get those
that.
things.
They know that they have stomach pains from regular store-bought bread,
Yeah.
like I do. My family does. And she tells them, and they buy it. They're like, "Oh my gosh, I can eat a sandwich again."
Yeah.
Wow.
And they come there. They come there to the farmer's market. They come around the corner, and they're like, "Is there anything left?" I mean, the lady that buys the bread, she's got that look like, "Please, please." You know, and she sees this, the zucchini bread there. She's like, "Ah!"
But when did you actually start your first? You said when you first started, you didn't have that much stuff.
That was
Building your
probably-
reputation, even with not very much stuff,
Correct.
because of the quality of
Because of the quality.
Yeah.
And because we talk to people. They would come up and they would look to see what we have, and we're like, "Hey, we're not certified organic farmers.
Right.
We can't say that, but we
Right.
naturally grow our food. We have young moms coming to buy our fresh stuff to make baby food." I was excited to hear
Hang
that.
on. You have people around here that are making
Yes.
their own baby food.
Yes.
Yes.
Out of
That's exciting.
That
out of the
is
garden.
exciting.
Out
Yeah.
of the garden.
And they know that we don't spray, and they want the best for their baby. And then we have other people.
Is
Fly
that the
is
one?
chasing her.
A fly?
Yeah.
Chasing her.
Oh,
That's the panicky one.
oh, okay.
Oh gosh.
She flies.
Oh my goodness.
She
They
gets
all have-
excited over a fly.
She does, yeah. Or
Yeah.
she's all of a sudden afraid that nobody is around, and she realized it. So she's coming back around to find everyone. Going back to our customer, we had a lady yesterday show up at the farmer's market, and she picked up one of the smaller spaghetti squashes and a small butternut squash. And they were some of the small ones. And she said, "What do you do with these?"
Very
Wait.
common question. With,
Spaghetti and butternut
Yeah.
Yep.
and butternut.
What do you do with these? And she was probably my age. And so
Yeah.
I explained to her, this is what I do with them.
Yeah.
And I gave her a few ideas of
Yeah.
what I do with them. And I told her, I said, "You know what? I want you to take these home. Don't buy them. I want you to take them home. And I want you to play with them."
Yeah.
Because I
Try.
love to cook. Try it. See
Yeah.
if you like it. You
Yeah.
don't have to spend a lot of money, but just get
Right.
the little one. And I told her how to prepare them and come back and tell me what you thought.
Yeah. And if you
So-
like it, then
and
next
if you like
week-
it, here you go. We got a whole table full.
Yeah. Wow.
So we're
Yeah.
trying to teach people how to eat better.
That's awesome. That
By-
is so awesome.
you have to
providing
build
the
a
food.
customer base.
Yeah.
You have to be honest, and you got to tell them you need to be eating this stuff. And some of the experienced farmers or customers that buy farmers' food, they can look at your table and they know what's come out of the ground and what's at Walmart. They know.
Oh yeah.
So they pick up tomato and they just go like, it's like yesterday.
Looks real.
Yeah, it
we had,
looks
we
real,
had a
it
lady come
smells
by
real.
that looked at our corn in our bags. He's like, "Oh, it's lovely, it's lovely." She goes, "I'll tell you what." She goes, "Can you give me a bushel and I'll come buy it on Tuesday? I want 4 dozen." And I'm like, "Well, you want me to do like the bag?" She goes, "No. I was raised on a farm. I'm not afraid of a worm. Leave him in the husk and I'll take them."
What did you sell a bushel for? Did you have that much to sell?
No,
No, we
we only
didn't.
take about 40 pieces
Yeah.
of corn a day.
Yeah.
And they sell out, but she's like, no, I want them in the husk. And I ain't afraid of no worm. I'm not afraid of a few missing teeth. Just give me 4 dozen. I'll pick them up on Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah, because she's gonna
It's-
take them home and she's gonna.
Yeah, she'll do it.
She'll take everything off the cob and then she'll can it.
Right.
So
Which is
there
what we're
are
doing
people that are used to that perfect chemically raised fruit or vegetable.
Well, most people.
Yeah, and then when they come to the farmer's market, they're like, it's got bruises and this, that. That's a natural piece. That's a natural food right there.
Yeah.
Came right out of the ground.
Right.
Just
It
picked
is.
it this morning at 6 o'clock. Lots of people probably do ask it and probably do say, can you taste the difference? And the answer is yes. Can you taste the difference in a farm egg than a white egg at the store?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
It's
Big
outstandingly
difference.
different.
Big
Can you taste the difference in a tomato off your garden out of the one in the store? Yes. It bursts with flavor. Everything, even the watermelon. We crack open a watermelon, it's just bright and just juicy and
Yeah. If you harvest it at the right time.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
the
he's the watermelon master. When people say, "I want to buy a watermelon, which is the best one?" I send him out,
Yeah.
to.
you gotta
people
you gotta
advice.
thump them a little bit, and you gotta.
But the thing is, once it's cut, it's sealed, isn't it?
It's sealed, but then within itself, the moisture within itself will sweeten more.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so
If,
once you cut it, you can set it back, and it's gonna last for a month on your basement. Okay, and it's gonna
Oh,
get
man.
sweeter.
I have to put them in the refrigerator in the summer because it's just too hot. I don't know.
You could do that, but
But
you're right.
what
They're
happens
sealed.
is they
they're gonna-
rot. I go out there the other day, and there were 2 big ones I was saving, but I got hurt, so I hadn't been working, so it hadn't worked up the sweat. Nothing is better than finishing your workday with a cold watermelon. Oh my
I am
gosh.
so glad you mentioned that because we were growing the orange glow watermelon, and I'm telling
Daryl
you,
swears by that.
oh, they are my favorite. The seeds are big. There's not a lot of seeds in there, but you can certainly pick through them. And we would do that. We would be out there working and sweating, and he would say, "Come on, we got to take a break." And we'd just sit right here and have ice cold watermelon.
We would just
It
bring a watermelon off the garden and just bring it here and cut it off right here. And here's yours, here's mine, here's your spoon, here's your spoon.
But
Man,
it's better out of the fridge.
it is.
When
Yeah,
you're
that's-
hot
that's
and
When
sweaty.
dinner
you're
time.
really sweating.
Oh,
'cause
yeah,
it just
it
cools you
just-
down. And of course, in the South, we put salt on our watermelon.
Yeah.
I did that, and
If you're not used to it, you might
I'm
not
not
like
used
it.
to it, but it's a great way to rehydrate yourself too.
Exactly.
And retain the water.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're pretty spoiled out here. We have really embraced this lifestyle and just tried to live it to the fullest. And we don't waste anything. I was telling Keith we need to get the pigs appointment set up because we got to get them harvested. And he said we still have food out here. We can't send them in yet. So
Yeah, we don't want to waste any food because whatever the pigs eat, we're going to end up eating, ourselves. So if we're feeding the pigs watermelon and bell peppers and tomatoes and all this stuff, well, that's just good for the pigs.
it's
Oh, sure.
Gonna be better
we're
for
gonna
us
have
when we eat them.
we're gonna have pigs that are red, red meat, tomatoes.
Yeah, well, if you have a lot of watermelons, how much time do you have for preserving? When
Oh
did you
my
go
gosh.
start doing that in earnest? In August?
In earnest, on my Kentucky Wonder beans, I took the first picking. I wanted them.
That was
Feed the
hard.
farmer
That was
first.
hard. I
didn't like that.
was like, let's go. She's like, these are staying. I'm like, no,
I-
that's $100. No, she's like, I'm gonna can those right now.
I did. I canned up 28 quarts
Okay,
of
great.
Kentucky Wonders.
Wow.
All of this big pile of navy bean back here I still need to get to, but I've already done my pinto bean and my black bean. They're still sitting down in the basement because I need to can those. And I will probably can
Wait,
about...
you're not canning dried beans. You're
I will-
canning dried beans?
Mhm.
Why?
Because when I'm out here working all day long, I can go downstairs to my food pantry and I can grab a jar of canned beans and some broth and a bag of rice and some canned chicken, and I've got a meal.
And
It's already
canned
cooked.
jalapenos.
Yeah.
And
So the let me get this straight. The beans are dry, and then you're going to rehydrate them and cook them and can them. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not going to rehydrate them. I could do dry beans and do a half a cup inside of a pint jar, fill it up with water, and put it in my canner.
Oh.
Or I could hydrate them overnight.
Yes.
And then I could fill up my jar with the rehydrated bean.
Right.
And top it off with water and can it.
Either way.
Either way. But you can't fill up an entire jar of a dry bean because they've got to have room to expand.
Sure. Wow. See, I hadn't, that wasn't even on my radar.
Yeah.
You know, because when I dry, I just put them in large half-gallon jars and with a oxygen absorber, and I just leave them dry until I'm ready to cook. But you're right.
But you got to have a couple hours to cook a bean, and
that's right.
Sometimes we're out here till 5 or 6 o'clock, and then I've got to run in and throw a meal together in less than an hour.
Yeah, and you're feeding 4 people.
And I'm feeding 4 of us, so one pint jar feeds us for a meal. Very convenient, very handy.
Wow.
Yeah, and very tasty. It's like not too long ago, she just did a whole bunch of the Roma tomatoes, and she cooked them up and get ready to preserve them, and they came out, you know, the way she did them, so thick. Well, a lot of people might like the cream, they're real juicy or, you know, thin. These came out so thick that when you go in, it's like taking a yogurt. And she put it over the spaghetti squash. I'm like, oh my gosh, you get
It's perfect for
chunks of skin and all that, just thick as can be.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's how you do. That's
Is it
right
because you cooked it down longer? Or
Well, by accident,
Oh,
thanks to his son. But it was okay. It was okay. You know, I don't have time to get my Roma tomatoes, you know, and say, oh, today we're going to can tomatoes. Let's go get them. Because I had to pull tomatoes off of the vine while they were still kind of green because the bugs were getting to them.
yep.
You know, because we don't spray pesticides.
Squash, bugs, terrible.
Oh, terrible.
Yeah, we had
So
them.
we were picking bushels of Roma tomatoes and putting them downstairs in the basement and putting blankets over the top of them just to get them
Green.
to
Green.
redden up. And then as soon as they were red, then I would wash them all up and I would, you know, cut the bad stuff off if there was. And I just put them into grocery bags and threw them in the freezer because I don't have time to deal with them yet. So I did play around and experiment a little bit how I'm going to finish processing them because I've got just pounds. And like he said, I just put them whole, skin and all, into my big roasting pan and turned it on overnight to let a lot of the water cook out of them.
Yeah.
And then I took my immersion blender and I just ran it through there.
Yep.
Skin and all, skin, seeds, you name it. Nothing special about it. And then I just put it in my jars, water bath canned it, and they're beautiful.
That's about as healthy as a jar of sauce you can get, right
Because
there.
I don't have time to throw my tomatoes into hot water and then put them into an ice bath and then pull the skin off. And
Oh, I know.
who's got time for that?
I know.
You know, I've got
What
bushels
about
and bushels and
coring?
bushels.
The core, you know,
Immersion blender.
just don't worry about
Used
it.
everything.
I just did not even
everything.
worry about it.
Okay.
There were some bags I was able to, I just cut the top off, you know, to get most of the core out,
Yeah.
but all those tops got fed to the pigs.
Sure.
So
sure.
nothing went to waste.
Right.
Yeah, it was all
So,
good stuff.
so are you selling your preserved sauces and things? Or?
I can't. I need a
Not yet.
microprocessor certificate from the state of Kentucky to be able to do that.
Oh.
That's my plan for next year.
Yeah,
But
that'll be
I
a big
still
change for
don't.
us.
I still don't even know when I would have the time to process all of that because
Yeah.
just getting everything ready to sell
Yeah.
whole at the farmer's market and doing the breads.
It'd probably be like a
It's a
winter
lot of work.
snowy week thing. You know, when
Sure.
the weather's just so bad, I'll just
pull
support her
everything in
and
the
just
freezer
do all the
and-
stuff you got to do.
For the
But,
canning.
but I'll tell you what, the thing that we learned, and I don't know if it wasn't by mistake, but we would pull 30, 40 pounds of tomatoes to go to the farmer's market. And then you, out of 10 tomatoes, 2 of them had bug bites and bruises. We're like, oh, beautiful tomatoes. And we're like, wait a minute. So when we pulled these green tomatoes off, big,
Yeah.
put them downstairs in the basement where it's average 60 degrees.
Yeah.
And a week later, perfectly red, flawless. We're like, you know what? This is
This is the way to go. Well,
No bugs.
somebody said you just, as long as it has the first blush.
Right.
Yeah,
As
a
long
little
as
bit,
it has
little bit, just a
blush.
little bit on there.
Uh-huh.
And our whole basement was loaded with thousands of tomatoes.
I
they
can't
just-
get over this bulk that you've done, just the two of you. It's like thousands of tomatoes. Like, what
Oh,
are you talking
absolutely.
about?
We would go out and pick bushels and bushels and bushels
Of what?
of
Tomatoes?
tomatoes and
Oh my
bell
God.
peppers and nobody will buy tomatillos out here. That's okay.
They don't know what it is.
No.
They don't
they
know
don't
what
know.
it is. I'm saving them. I'll make a salsa verde out of it.
Not only that, but it sounds like you're going to educate them too.
I'm trying.
We're trying.
And what
She's
you can
telling
do
them how to
is
do
you
it.
can make up a tomatilla relish or
card,
whatever you
yeah.
call it, and have people try it one week and
Yeah.
say, next week we're going
Uh-huh.
to have, or when you have them, whatever.
She tells them when a customer comes up and asks, "What do you do with this bell pepper?" Patty will get up there and she'll say how she cuts it and cleans it and puts ground round in there and cheese and this and that and salt and pepper, and it's just an explosion of flavor. And they're like, "Really? This is how you eat this thing?" And they'll buy 2 or 3 and they'll come back and go, "Oh my gosh, that was the greatest
That
thing
was
we
so
ever
good.
ate."
I can't really understand that because bell pepper, I grew up in the South and it was so common. In every restaurant, you'll see, the fresh chopped.
That's what we thought too. If you can see that real dark green patch going from the road all the way to the back of the corn, it's all bell peppers, right the middle.
I
right
see
there.
it. We'll take a look
And
at
then
all
it's
of
all,
that.
I mean, we thought, oh, we're gonna make a killing on these bell peppers, and we get out here and people are like, "What's that? What do you do with it? Do you
I-
throw it at each other?"
I was at the grocery store and this man, older man, pulls a bell pepper, red bell pepper, and he said, "Can you believe this? $1.49 each. This is highway robbery." And I said, "You need to come to our farmer's market because I'm selling those. And I've got so many of them, and they're only 50 cents a piece." and he said, "Oh, I didn't know. People have to go out and find their farmers markets.
Yeah, that's
You're
the
going to
thing.
get
Yeah.
better food, better prices."
You got to tell people when we go places. We'll go to the gas station. We'll go to the restaurant, the steakhouse. We tell people, come to farmers market, get some fresh food, eat healthy, and they're like, "Where is it? What do you?" Everywhere we go, and people are, you see them the next week. They're like, "Wow, well, just all this food."
Wow.
But you gotta let people know because they're not everywhere, and
It's not on their radar. It's not the
No.
first thing they think of when they think, "Oh, I have to go buy some food." They don't think farmers market.
No, they think fast food.
yeah,
Yeah.
When
Drive
they're
through.
hungry.
Fast food,
And part of it is just because you'll have 2 people in the household and they'll be working 2 jobs each.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing they want to do is to go home and try to think of something creative, healthy to eat
Right.
and cook it.
Right.
Yeah.
And then
That's-
clean the dishes.
Right.
that's the bad. That's the
exhausted.
downfall.
It
but-
is. It is. It's a lot of work. But you know what? We eat so much at home that when we're out, like vacationing, it's really hard to eat out.
Oh,
It's
I
hard to eat
know.
healthy.
It's very hard.
We have
to
to
eat
search for
healthy.
somewhere
You
It's
know,
got,
yeah,
you know.
I don't. I've been in Tennessee for 2.5 years, and I've only eaten at about 3 places. And there's a coffee shop that's okay. It's a coffee shop once in a while,
Once in a while, it's
once
okay.
or twice a month.
Yeah.
And then I went to this very popular restaurant twice and got sick. And I just said, you know what? I'm just better off eating my own food.
Right. Right.
So even if it's just something simple.
Yeah.
I
You
think
get used to. I think you get used to eating your own food.
Oh, that's
that
for
you
sure.
And then
grow.
you eat out, you get sick.
You do.
Instantly, we experienced that. We want to go back and get a beautiful cheeseburger dripping with grease. We
French
miss
fries.
that life.
French fries too.
Yeah, and then we-
and a Coke.
And we come back home and we're like, ooh.
Yeah. Oh, my stomach. Where's the Gas X? I need Pepto Bismol.
Something.
Something. Just a yeah.
See, that's how the big pharma gets all their money. They
Yeah, everyone's
make
brainwashed.
sure the food is bad.
Right.
And
Yeah.
everybody's reaching for some kind of product to make them feel
Yeah.
better, right?
We went
Exactly.
to a restaurant, a nice restaurant in town here, and said, "Hey, we've got all this fresh food at the farmers market. We can stop by here when we're done if you want to buy some fresh food off of us." And he's like, "Well, most of the stuff we get out of cans and we buy our." I'm
Yeah.
like, "That's what we're eating here?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought restaurants had to buy vegetables and chop them up, and
No.
they're buying them out of jars and cans.
yeah,
I'm like,
Jars
oh,
and cans. And that's what people want. They want convenience. They
Yeah.
want easy. They don't want to have to work hard to eat.
Right.
And that's why drive-thrus are so popular
Yeah.
nowadays.
Dried?
Drive-through.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know. But see, they have no idea because they're not doing the research of what they're actually consuming. Mm-hmm. They're just trying to feel
look
satiated.
if you
Yeah.
buy a jar of tomato sauce in the store, turn it over and look at the ingredients. What is all this stuff? We just got tomatoes out the garden, and she ground it up, and it's
Tomatoes.
there's
Yeah,
nothing
it's
in
just
there.
You
tomatoes.
could put
What's
a little
all
salt
this
in
other
if you wanted,
stuff?
but you don't even
Yeah.
have to.
And you're
No, you
eating
don't.
all this other stuff.
I was preaching reading labels 10 years ago, or 20 years ago, but you really have to look now because you'll see on the bottom it'll say this contains a bioengineered product.
Oh,
You see that a lot now.
Yeah.
Well, I don't buy that much stuff
Yeah.
at the grocery store
No,
anymore.
no, you
So
wouldn't.
everyone's eating
That's
this stuff,
crazy.
and it's like, okay, well, my stomach's hurting a lot. Well, that's all right. We got medicine to take care of that.
Yeah, see,
So they're all taking care of themselves. But
Yeah.
who's taking care of you?
I know.
And, talking about bioengineered, a lot of, on the other side of our hill here is that big field of
Yeah,
corn you
yeah.
saw coming in. And that corn was planted the same day that we planted our popcorn and our
Sweet corn,
regular sweet corn.
Mm-hmm.
And so every week we would make a comment like, look at how big that corn is across the street compared to our little corn. Because we didn't throw any fertilizer down.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
didn't throw any
Yeah.
pesticide
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
And just, it was so incredibly
scary.
different how that corn grew to be Superman, where ours was just a little pipsqueak.
Yeah, and they
We
have
were
no,
going to do a video on that, but we should have.
and they have no
It
weeds.
was.
And
well,
they have no weeds.
Right.
Exactly.
No, yeah. They came
None.
down here in one day with this machine that was half the size of this house. And one machine disked the ground, and behind the disc was a spray part, and it was spraying. Behind that was an automatic seeder. In one day,
Pass.
they
One
disked
pass.
the
One
field.
pass. Uh-huh.
Yeah. And they disked it, sprayed it with weed killer.
Yep.
Sprayed it, and how I know it because the bottom of the area of the tree, the roads was all brown.
Yep.
And put seed in, and we were dropping our seed in, and in 2 weeks,
We're like caveman. One seed
Yeah,
here, one
in-
seed
in
here,
2
one
weeks.
seed here.
That's what I did.
their corn was like this in 2 weeks. Our corn was just coming out of the ground.
Yeah.
Their corn was 6 feet tall, and our corn was 2 feet. And we're like, and she's doing a little research. I'm like, what is it? It's rain resistant, total chemical corn, engineered, and
Yep.
I was like, and everyone's eating that.
And that's going into the pigs for the entire pork
Yeah,
market.
Yeah, most of
everyone-
that corn is going to be used for livestock, so they'll ship it off to the big stockyards,
Yeah,
and that's what they're feeding the cows to fatten them up, and
And
the pigs
pigs.
to fatten them up, and
That's
you
feeding
know
people.
you are
It's
what you
filtering
eat.
down
And
to
chickens.
people.
And chickens, yep, yep.
Yeah.
And our chickens are free range. We haven't lost any to any birds, bird praise. We let them.
But you have a dog.
But we have a dog.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we just let them go in the forest and scratch around for bugs. We give them 1 scoop of non-GMO chicken pellets that we get in the Amish community, and that's all they get. And we get beautiful eggs.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, we started selling the eggs at the farmer's market, and now the customers come back and says, "Do you have eggs?" Those were so bright orange, and beautiful. Can you get some more eggs? We're like, we're trying, but we sell out so fast,
Yeah.
So now our discussion is, okay, do we do more birds? What do we do? What do we do? We got Cody and Grandma eating 50 dozen a day. Well, what are we going to do? So we're thinking, more birds. What do we do? What's the other answer?
Yeah, I know.
People at farmers market want those brown eggs.
Well, I was going to say, are they brown shell?
Yeah, they're
Yes.
brown shelled, and they're beautiful inside.
I was just going to say, have you even had a moment? Well, I guess, what month did you actually get here? What season was it?
We got here in September last
September.
year, so
Oh,
it was
okay.
just the beginning of fall.
And so you didn't have any kind of a fall crop. You were just doing infrastructure.
We were
and
doing
fixing
infrastructure,
things.
Yeah.
and had absolutely no garden,
Yeah.
nothing, not even a seed planted.
So
when we
you were
got
going
It
here.
was
the
all
grocery store
planned.
for
It was
the
all
winter.
sitting here just Okay,
I was
plan it
spending
out.
$200 a week
At
at
the
the grocery store.
Yeah, sure.
It was crazy.
That would probably be 3 now.
Yeah, it probably would be. Now
Yeah.
and if I don't have to buy, a box of socks or,
Yeah.
some sweatpants or whatever, I probably spend maybe $75.
Yeah.
And that's getting grandma's cereal for her because she likes that, getting lactate milk. But I don't, the only produce I get from the grocery store is like my lettuce because I can't grow it right now.
Yeah.
But that'll soon be off the list.
It's seasonal. You
So-
grow what you eat, and that is so
Exactly.
fulfilling. When
Exactly.
she comes back from the grocery store with chips, cookies, that's it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
it.
that's pretty
it.
much, because he likes his chips and cookies.
But
And
we eat what's ripe, what's here.
as soon as we were done putting all the soil in there, I literally had little plants that I was putting in the greenhouse of broccoli and cauliflower and some cabbage. And he was like, "Are you a little excited there?" And I said, "Are you kidding? I need to get this stuff in the ground. We need to start eating better."
They're exactly the same size, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
The
Yeah.
greenhouses?
Yeah.
16 by 20s.
Well, you do have raised beds, but it's in ground. Did you
No,
put
there's
any-
ground cover on the bottom of on top of the grass.
Oh, you did do.
Yeah,
so
we
the
did the
moles
ground cover
and the
first.
animals won't come through the bottom.
Okay. What kind of cloth do you recommend?
This is, I think,
It's 10 gauge. I know that. We've experimented with 2 or 3 different kinds. This one, the water when it rains, it goes through it.
hold on.
It-
I will look this up.
Yeah,
Because
the weeds do not penetrate it at all.
The what doesn't?
Weeds
Oh.
cannot come through it. But
Wow.
when it rains, it goes right through there. It does not puddle.
That's crazy. Okay.
And we've gone, like I said, we've gone through different kinds. And even one of our real good friends at the farmer's market uses a real heavy polyurethane one, and it repels water.
Uh-huh.
This one here, when you cut your holes out for your plants, when it rains, it's just like you're sitting there watering it. The water goes right through it.
Well, I don't understand the whole cutting out of the plants because
Weeds.
then you've got a hole
Yeah.
and you've got to use that same hole the next time and the next
Yeah.
time and the next
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
right.
So you got to know what you're going to plant there
Well,
because
in a sense, but not really. Say, for instance, the bell peppers. Here soon, we're gonna cut the bottoms off ground level,
yeah,
and then burn them or cultivate them.
yeah.
In a couple of months, those roots will be composted naturally into the soil.
Right.
And then when we're ready for our next crop, we're just going to drop a seed right in that same hole. And it's already got natural fertilizer in it.
But my point is some plants need more space than others. Or do
We
you-
cut out for that.
Oh.
Like this is strawberry, bell peppers. Those are fine. Our watermelon, they'll be a foot apart. Our pumpkin, a foot apart. So these here are only like 8 inches.
1 foot? I thought it was 3 feet.
No, we crammed them in there pretty good.
Ooh.
So it's like over here, this is a watermelon patch and that's a watermelon patch. And they're just,
Do you have this cover all the way across and I just can't
No.
see it?
We are working on it.
Okay.
yeah, see, what you don't see that's covered is still live crop. What's covered has already been harvested.
Yeah, okay.
So once the bell peppers themselves are on ground cover, you just can't see it. But next to it, the big watermelon patch, and the tomatillos, they're still thriving. So after that's done cultivated, that will all be ground cover.
So if the water goes through, then you can still have worm activity underneath there,
Oh yeah,
right?
Correct.
oh yeah.
Yes.
They eat all the roots and stuff. Yeah. Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Now, we only are going to cultivate till one time.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
because-
already done. It's cultivated. It's going to go 3-4 years. We're not going
Are
to
you
touch
talking
it.
about what you have the
Yep.
fabric on right now?
We cultivate, like see the watermelon patch? We cultivated that just how it is. 2 feet of weeds and watermelon plants. Right into the soil. And when the machine is done with it, it's just smooth dirt.
Yeah, see, I can't
And
do
then we
that
put
with
the
a
ground cover
rototiller.
over top of that, and it's just preserving all that natural fertilizer.
This ground cover, we get the 8 foot by 300 foot. So it's 8 foot wide, 300 feet long. And it's a woven polypropylene fabric. It's UV stabilized, extremely strong, water and air permeable, and far superior to sheet plastic. Effective weed blocker, 3.2 ounces per square foot with stripes every foot. So You can find this on Amazon because we had bought some from Amazon when we were in Texas.
Yeah.
But we have a landscape garden center that's wholesale in the Amish community, and we're able to get these for much less.
Yeah.
Much
As you heard what she
less
was reading,
than
it's
Amazon.
the wind and the water penetrates it ever so lightly, but the lines on there
Or
are
every foot
those
apart.
are your grow lines.
Okay.
1 foot, 1 foot, 1 foot, all the way up. That way you got to create a nice walkway when you're in your garden.
Yeah.
You can't just have a seat.
So, but you got the whole thing covered. So your walkway is fabric.
Sure.
yeah,
Okay.
but we'll grow
Are you using
Well-
like metal tent stakes to hold it down?
not tent stakes, but stakes.
They're garden landscapes.
Okay.
Yeah, they're-
Landscape stakes.
they're
Okay.
8-inch.
If I was to get the 3 foot by 300
They're
foot,
not open
it's
on Sunday, are they?
no, they're not. They're Amish. It's $45 at their store versus $75 on Amazon. So
Wow.
huge savings for us, and we like supporting our Amish community. They're very nice
Of
people.
Of course.
So the reason why we're doing ground cover, and I think this is super important, is because since we grow naturally, all of the weeds like to grow too.
Of course.
And I mean, I was knee deep in weeds trying to pick my beans, and I was getting eat up by bugs
I know.
and everything. And when we were taking the corn out, I had the great idea, like, I'll go out there and help Keith. I can do this. It's not hard. And I had my little scissors with me, and we're just going to cut all the corn stalks, this far from the ground. And I had my cute little dress on and flip-flops in the weeds.
Oh no.
And you can only
Chiggers.
imagine chiggers.
Oh, good
I
God.
probably had over 50 bites on my legs.
For
I
sure.
was just a mess. So
And you don't feel triggers till later.
till later.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But the advantages of having the ground cover is so there's so much. I mean, you make your rows. The weeds are not growing there at all. You just your food is right there. You save so much time. We'll work hard this year on getting it down, but for the next 5 years, it's there. It's fertile.
Yeah.
Weeds are not going to come up and destroy our crops. It's less weeds, less bugs.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we can walk up our rows.
But what about not fertilizer. What about compost and all of that stuff? You've already worked it in, and so
It'll last. We talk with other farmers out here, older farmers, and like right now, when you see that watermelon patch with 2 feet of weeds in it and watermelon plants, when you cultivate that into the soil, that's enriching that soil for 3 to 5 years.
I'm just wondering about myself though. What could I do? Because I can't cultivate what's there into the soil.
Yeah, you've got a few areas in your house that's kind of like a little bit of a smaller incline like this. You could get your ground cover laid there. Okay, it's gonna last 3 to 5 years with the nutrients that are already there. Remember, you've got leaves, you've got nuts that fall from the ground, you got tree sticks. That's all nutrients. That's in
And I
your
can-
ground right now.
I can lay it on top of all that. And it'll just,
And then you burn your little holes or cut your little holes for your seedlings or your plants. Now remember, when your plant is done, you've harvested. You're going to take your plant and you're going to cut it off ground level with the ground cover. Throw it away or harvest it, or put it in a compost pile. Now what you left in the soil, Mother Nature's going to take care of it. The worms, everything else is going to eat those roots and stuff. So when you're ready 2-3 months down the road to replant, that's already got nutrients in it. You put your seed in there, all that soil and the worms, and it's just you're doing yourself a favor by doing that, letting Mother Nature do its thing. The ground cover will keep you from losing your crops and getting lost in the weeds.
Oh, and that was my biggest concern when we first came here. I said I wanted to put ground cover just automatically because I've already dealt with the weeds. He's like, oh no, I'll keep it mowed. And
yeah, sure.
yeah, it's a great thought in theory, but
in theory.
you can't. The weeds just take over,
They do.
and it makes your plants struggle for the nutrients.
I know.
they're competing.
It destroyed, 70 tomato plants
Yeah.
for me?
Yeah.
So, because I just couldn't get to it. It was just the weeds were impossible.
Right.
See, this
But
is.
but on the edges of the terraces, I have those fire ant hills, and they're really hard to deal with.
We don't have fire ants
No.
here.
Oh my god!
I think they stopped at the Tennessee-Kentucky border.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they did. They
I
did
need to
because
move
we
then,
had
obviously.
them really bad in Texas. Like you could not walk barefooted out in Texas at all.
Yeah,
you
I've
would get
heard
bit
that.
by the fire ants.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, they will chase you down and bite you.
Yeah.
Out here, I mean,
But are they the big red ones? Is
No,
that
oh
what
black.
yeah, they were the big red ones.
Out here, they're the black ones.
Out here, they're the black ones. They bite too, but
They
they're
bite
not
too.
as
They're not in
bad.
numbers. But if you had ground cover, your ants couldn't thrive.
Yeah.
They need the sun. They need everything that a dirt hill provides.
Yeah.
If you have ground cover, you got rid of your ants.
What month would you put it down, Keith? If I got it,
All winter. I'm doing it now because
Get
we're
it down.
harvesting.
get it down.
But
Just to get it down, yeah,
yeah, I would
as soon
do
as
it.
possible.
So
Just get it down. Even if
so
you
my-
have this weeds this high, it's gonna kill them because the sun is
It will.
not gonna penetrate them.
Or if you could take a lawnmower and just mow it down as low as you can, and then throw the ground cover over it. Don't even rototill it.
Don't even till it.
No,
No, because
No.
Wouldn't I?
the
need-
grass is gonna die,
grass will
and
die
that's
underneath
all nutrients from the grass.
I don't really. Well, let's see. Let me think. I was going to do cover crop.
it. We did that last year when we moved here. I bought some crimson clover seed,
Yeah.
and we put it all up there on the hill.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't start to come up until March.
That it does that. Yeah.
I needed to
Yeah.
plant in May, so
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
competing with the cover crop.
Sure.
So you either get your crops out like July, August, get your cover crop in so that it can grow until the first frost.
I know I'm behind
And kill it
because
off.
of my leg.
We were behind too. Yeah, we were. You're always behind. You can never catch up. There's so
Okay.
much work to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just so it's not just me.
Yeah, you should just get your ground cover ordered, and when it comes in, just get it down.
Whenever.
You can make a mow, and then put it right on top of the grass wherever you're going to go. By the time you're ready to plant, that grass will already be dead and neutralized in the soil.
Yeah.
Underneath the ground cover, life is still full. You got your grubs, you got your worms, you got your roots. It's all still full down there. So it's going over and over and over. It's reliving itself.
But that's with ground cover, not silage tarp,
No,
which is solid plastic.
No,
Right, and
that's
no
not,
water
No
can
water
get down
gets-
in there.
That'll
Yeah,
burn
that-
your soil, and
that-
it'll kill the worms and everything else.
Okay.
You got to have something has to breathe, has to be porous.
Okay.
If you get your ground cover, figure out where you're going to buy it from and who's got it. Get it delivered to your place. Go pick it up. Come back, mow your yard down as low as you can mow it. Wherever you're going to place your cover. Get your cover and get your stakes and just start laying it down. In about 1 month, your grass will start dying. And as it's raining, the water's going to come through the cloth. And when it's the wind and the air is going to come through it. So your soil is breathing still. But the sun is not giving enough sun to grow grass.
Yeah.
The worms are thriving. They're eating all the roots and all the stuff, all the sticks and the leaves down there. So now you're going to cut your little holes out for your plants. You're going to follow your little yellow lines. Get your stuff in there, and your seeds are going to thrive of the nutrients that's already in there. If you think about all this grass that's there. It's all dying underneath there. That's all nutrients. It's going to be there for years. If you do November or December, you are ready for March planting. No problem.
If you plant, when's your first planting date? Middle of April?
When's
Yeah.
your last
Yeah.
freeze or first freeze?
Yeah.
Our last freeze is middle of April, but we actually got below freezing like April 28th. But you can still save your plants. That sounded like a
Those are
gunshot.
acorns.
Yeah, hitting the metal roof. You could put your ground cover down, and within a month, everything underneath it is dead. So you could wait until March to put your ground cover in.
Oh, okay, good.
And yeah, but don't burn your holes. Not until you're
No,
ready
no.
to
No,
plant.
not till you're
no,
ready.
And then go burn your holes and put your plants in.
If you burn your holes, the weeds will compete with your crop.
Did you put ground cover under your corn?
No.
Can't do
Corn
that.
does
No,
not.
we can't do that.
No,
Corn's
corn,
too close.
Yeah, corn will grow an inch apart. You get corn growing like this. So, this
Yeah, but
morning.
you have to thin it if it's that close, don't you? They
no,
fry-
no,
they
we've
do
got
better.
corn growing like this.
We'll take you out there. We'll show
Okay.
you what we did.
All right.
There's
Corn's
some that
roots
are
are
real close
differently.
and some that are.
Yeah.
The
far
corn's
apart.
roots don't go down.
No, they're not big.
As a corn stalk grows out of the ground, the actual bottom of the stalk raises up and the roots come down like this into the soil.
I know, it's just a little,
Like little legs.
yeah.
But
Yeah, it's not much.
this morning I was out there working on the ground cover, and that was laid a month ago, and I peeled back to restaple some of it. And as I was working in it, I was picking it, it was just moist, and it was just ready. You know, I could see the remnants of the old tomato plants, of the old potato plants. I could see them just kind of rotten into the soil. And I was like,
Already.
it's beautiful.
Wow.
So
And you don't get weeds coming up between the rows of ground cover?
these have been here for over 30 days.
We might get a weed or two,
But
but
it's easy to
we
control.
overlap it a little bit.
Yeah, give
Also-
yourself an overlap.
But you might have a weed trying to grow out, and you just pull it out. Where the bell peppers are at, it's on ground cover. And yeah, I've had the weeds grow up through through the hole, sure.
Yeah.
And but they're easy
pull
to
it
pull
up.
out.
Yeah.
This actually protects it.
Yeah.
It hasn't rained here in a week or two, and it's still moist underneath there right now.
That's awesome.
So it's protecting it.
I have to eat. I've been smelling that wonderful smell. What are you cooking in there?
Green beans.
It is?
Half runners, yeah.
That's all? That's all I smell?
Well, yeah, I was just going to say I need to go in and get the chicken ready so that we can get it on the barbecue. But
Okay.
we're going to cook up a chicken
Okay.
that we had harvested.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I know. I'm the crazy chicken lady. We bought the 25 Cornish cross.
Yeah.
We went in with a neighbor, and we got our 25, and we lost one right out of the chute, and there was another one that was kind of sick, and she didn't grow very big.
Yeah.
So we didn't harvest her. She's kind of hanging out, but I make sure that she goes on walks to stay slim and trim, and she doesn't get a lot of food to keep her smaller, because the
She's one of
Cornish
the girls
cross,
now.
the
She's one of the
Cornish
girls.
cross are bred to become fast-growing birds that you can harvest them in 8 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
And you harvested them all except for those two?
Yep.
Yeah.
We
And then did you put them
23
in the freezer, or
in
what
the,
did you?
in the freezer? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
his son did the kill
Okay.
and scalded and put him in the chicken plucker, and I did the rest of it. You know.
And you did all of this stuff in
Yeah.
1 year.
It's a routine that they have. They've got funnels where you put the chickens in.
No, I've
and-
seen it. I've
And
seen
they've got
that.
they got the plucker and you got the freezer. So she's got her assembly line going. I mean, she's got her little, kitchen skirt on and her little knives, and she's like. I had to go fishing. I can't see the.
He can catch fish and bring them home, but he can't. Take care of a chicken
Well,
or a
you
pig.
clean your own fish,
I
right?
clean my
he
fish, but when her and my son are together, I mean, she's like, go, go, go. He's like, and I'm like, ah.
What about deer? Do you hunt?
Not no more. I don't do that no more.
Oh, why?
I just become softer in my older age. I just don't need deer meat. I'd rather have a couple pigs or
Yeah.
go fishing or meet her chickens that she kills, not me.
Yeah.
We had a praying mantis.
Do you still have your boat?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we go fishing.
Wow.
That's
Is it a
we-
fishing boat?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's our food.
That's awesome.
There was a praying mantis on the driveway last night. He was trying to catch it to put in the greenhouse, and a chicken came and grabbed it and ran with
Right
it.
out from behind my back. She came out there and I'm like, get away! I was like, you kidding me? And that thing was 3 inches long. It was beautiful. And the chicken's like, oh yeah, it was good. I'm like, oh.
All right, let's take a break to eat.
Yeah,
Or
well, I
something.
got to get the chicken going. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's take a break.